We got the Eastern Shore Rails Trail Ordinance. Let's sign up for that.
You don't want to sign up for comments on this one either. This is the one that's to regulate the non-motorized vehicles.
I'll make a motion that we close the public hearing.
There's any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that's done. All right. We have no visitors tonight. Any public comments for the regular meeting, Libby?
Yes. I read Ed Wells.
Good evening, council, town manager, Libby. I'm here to present to you a proposal that I sent to Rick, and I have a copy of it.
Thank you, Ed.
Like I said, I sent this to Rick a couple of weeks ago, and I just wanted to present it to the council. The two lots behind the Cape Charles Library, lots 641 and 644, located on the southeast corner of Randolph Avenue and Pine Street, currently zoned residential. I've recently found out that they may be actually commercial lots, so that's a question mark. Our proposal is to seek a change in zoning. We're calling it a green space within the Cape Charles Historic District. With hardly any town-owned property left in the Historic District, we are proposing to utilize these two lots to create a park-like space with native plantings, benches, pergolas, and walkways, etc., for a peaceful respite in the Historic District. We would like to preserve these lots in a natural green space. Please advise on any possibility of this becoming a reality and the proper procedure to move forward. Something for you to ponder and think about, and maybe we can discuss it at a future time. Thank you.
Thank you.
And hold on a second, if I may, sorry.
Yeah.
Ed and I have talked about this, I think this is a really fantastic idea. I also think it would be something that could be helpful to the library as an outdoor classroom too, that I wanted to kind of throw that out there.
Yeah.
Because I know right now they use the space across the street, that's Canoni property, and,
It's probably Kemp's property.
okay, well, that's what they're using, so I just wanted to add on to that.
Yeah, I know there was something brought up this morning from Paul about the money that this property is worth. And, you know, I'm trying to say that people in the historic district, I think, deserve something to be left as a natural area. I don't want to get into this detail right now, but, you know, we take the full brunt of over 300 STRs in the historic district. We deal with the trash, the people, you name it, you all know about it. And I feel that even the sale of the wastewater plant, we deserve some of that money to be kept here and to be utilized for the town, for the historic residents. But I didn't want to get into any depth. I just wanted you to see this and take a look and see what you have to say. Thank you.
Ed, was there any talk about dog park? Because people have always talked about that as well.
No, I
Did that
hadn't.
come up in your discussion?
No.
So normally that we'll just receive information
Yeah.
and then we will have a work session to
Yes,
discuss it.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ed.
Thanks, Ed.
And then Tom Bruno.
Yes.
Good evening, my name's Tom Bruno. My wife and I live in Bay Creek. Could I go back to the,
An address?
yeah, 110 Saratoga? Could I go back to the rail trail that you just approved? Does that, the ordinance that was published, meaning that you're allowed Class 1 and Class 2 e-bikes?
But it was just a public hearing.
We haven't approved it yet. It's
It was
Oh,
a public hearing.
It's a public hearing, so if you, we already-
as long as you have the class 1 and class 2 included, I'm in favor of it. I
Yeah.
just want to make sure
It is.
that they were
Yeah,
included,
it
okay.
It states it in the.
I read that, and I, you know, then, but you mentioned non-motorized, I mean, you know, motorized, and so that's why I,
Class three with it.
right. Okay, that's not why I'm here. I'm here for the rail trail, and basically for safety to get access to the rail trail. I live in Bay Creek, and as you know, the rail trail is a multi-million-dollar concept, but the only way from Bay Creek to get to the rail trail is on Cassette Parkway, which is 35 miles per hour, and is a windy road, and the access point would be Stone Road. I had contacted the town manager's office to see if there was going to be a bike lane to get from Bay Creek, the exit, you know, the exit there, down to Stone Road, entrance to the rail trail. And he said, no, there had been no plans for it, but bring it up at a council meeting or contact VDOT. So I'm here at the council meeting. In the meantime, I had contacted VDOT, and they said that they couldn't do that there was no, accurately, there was no bike lane to get to the rail trail, and that you couldn't put one on Cassette because it's too narrow. Her suggestion was drive on the shoulder. And I said, well, can't you put the shoulder, a bike lane? And she says, no, you can't convert a shoulder to a bike lane. I said, well, at a minimum, can you at least put signs? So she said, yeah, we can put signs up, but there's another concept that they have in Norfolk. They have shared use lanes, meaning they paint the lane itself with a bike and an arrow, saying there's going to be bikes on this roadway. And they paint it actually on the road, and in fact, Norfolk has 30 miles of those painted onto their roads. And they got some kind of award for it because, you know, the bicycle safety. To me, it's a safety issue. In order to get to and from the rail trail on a 35-mile-an-hour road where it's all windy, there's got to be a little bit more presence and notice. And so you may want to wait and see what happens and how much traffic there is going down to the rail trail, but, you know, all you need is a couple people to do it, and you know, it's a problem that is going to exist. That's number one. But number two, and this is what cropped up last week, and I didn't realize it until I was coming home, and I'd seen something actually on Facebook that there is this Facebook Bay Creek app, and some woman said she was coming and took the left onto Cassette from Stone Road. She said she almost hit somebody flying down the rail trail, even though the rail trail wasn't open yet. And then I realized, you know, and true, there's no stop sign for either going onto Cassette Road or for the rail trail. And I think everybody here knows that, like 14-year-olds, they're not going to be looking for anything. They're just going to be flying down the rail trail because it's straight. So it's something that has to be addressed by somebody. I don't know if it's you or VDOT, but before something catastrophic happens, whether it's a stop sign, because it's only when you make the left. First of all, when people are going to make the left coming from Route 13, they're going to be concentrating on oncoming traffic. And then when they take the left, they're at the rail trail. It's like one car length, and then you're at the rail trail. It's kind of like so abrupt that you don't have time to look to the left and look to the right unless you're going to stop at the rail trail. And nobody is going to do that unless there's a stop sign there. I don't know if you can put a stop sign there. No one on the rail trail is going to stop unless you put a stop sign there. So it's not my problem to solve your problem, but just to let you know that that really is something that should be addressed.
This was also prior to the signs going up. There were no cautionary signs up.
There are no cautionary signs.
There are not.
No, there are no, it's not at that intersection.
Yeah, go look.
I did on the way here.
They just put them up.
They did it
There's
today.
a stop sign?
No, not stop.
They're not stop
Not
signs.
stop sign, cautionary signs.
Well, they put, you mean the signs right at the trail?
Yeah.
They're too, all right, well, those signs, by the time you see them, you're there. It should be before the trail. They should put them at least on Stone Road to let you know you're going into a trail. I mean, they're right at the trail. And how's a person who just made the left-hand turn, who's been concentrating on opposing traffic, which is going like at least 45 miles an hour, they're not going to come and all of a sudden say, oh, rail trail, what do I do now? I'm already halfway now across the rail trail before I'm going to, you know, to look back and forth. It's got to be better signage than those two signs there. That's what I would submit to you.
And the signs are more for the trail, not for the traffic turning in.
Putting a trail coming out of Bay Creek that goes down
Yep.
South Park right over to Old Cape Charles, which is 25 mile an hour. and then you can hit the head of the rail trail that direction too.
Well, I want to go to the Food Lion. I mean,
All right, this is supposed to be for receiving information.
Yeah, I'm just.
Right, I know,
Because I ride it
I know
every
that-
day. I'm on that road.
they're going to put a golf, as a, like a, they're putting some kind of golf cart on Cassette, yeah.
No, it's off Casella.
Yeah, but that's, goes in the wrong direction. The trail goes the other way. So, all right, but, yes, I see that, but I think most people from Bay Creek, once they, if they want to use their bikes, whatever, they're going to be going down to Stone Road. They're not going to go backwards in order to go forwards, because it dead ends there. If they want to go into town, yes, they would go that direction, but if they want to actually use the trail, they're going to go the other direction, Stone Road.
Beginning of the trail.
Yeah.
Solid located. All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thanks for your time.
No one else has signed up.
All right. Would you like to take it over? Or you want me to-
No, go ahead.
Okay.
You got it.
All right. Can I get a motion for the consent?
Yeah,
agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda by pulling out also the financial report. I want to talk separately on that. So this is for the format and for meeting minutes. For approval, motion to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Unfinished business.
All right, now I want to talk financial report now. Okay, so in the financial report, I just want to call out a couple things. First page, we have treasury report and where the money is. That's good. The second page, we ultimately, I talked to Rick in the finance department, and we put a note down at the bottom, because what is being conveyed in this particular sheet is not accurate. And then why I say that is the allocations that we have applied within our budgets have not taken place. So when you look at what our expenditures for instance, the general fund of $4 million, well, that's because we haven't moved any of the projected monies over into capital, as an example. And if you go to capital then, our revenue is $1.5 million, which is not correct, and it's showing a negative because we haven't allocated monies over. So for our protection, the note was added to say there's certain limitations on what is being presented here. And what I am going to ask is that we sit down and revamp this particular report in order to address those particular concerns and really say, what does this do for us? What are we looking for on this one sheet, and what is it doing for us, or not? So that was one of the issues I have on that sheet. The next sheet with the capital plans, last month, we had moved some monies to capture some overruns in the library repair area. We moved $27,000 internally, but it was noted that was done. Well, we have now another $24,000, so we should have an internal move of monies in order to cover that from one of the other capital projects. That should occur in order to close this particular month out. All right, so I've got a problem with that particular one. And the last one, with regards to the specified sources, I like this. It gives us good information on a monthly basis relative to some of our major hitters. You know, how are we doing with the budget relative to meals, tot? You can see our dockage is at 145%, excellent. We're hitting the mark as of June 30th. Now, allocation is still coming in July and August, but as of the end of June, what they collected is 103% for meals and 96%, which says we're really on target with our budget. Good exercise a year ago to establish budgets, and we've met those targets. So there's kudos going to the finance department in order to help construct this as we go. But as you look down, we're really on the mark or above on our revenues on some of these bigger streams. Even the real estate, what we had budgeted, we're at 102%. And we billed more than we even budgeted, so some of the revenue that we have yet to collect will spill over into our next year's budget of previous year's revenue. But this is a good depiction of where we are on our major topic areas to get a sense of, are we on line with revenues versus expenditures? I just wanted to offer thanks to the finance department on that. So with that, I'd offer a motion to approve the June 30th with the understanding that the capital plan needs to have a movement of monies for that one project that's overrun in the library area.
Paul, are you also suggesting that we change the format of that?
Correct. I'll approve it the way it is, with the caveat, with the note I just brought to your attention, that it's not.
But format into the future that we always
Yeah,
find
and
a
I'll
better
just
way
ask
to.
Rick, you know, to set up a committee or whatever to sit down. Marion's already looking what should we do. I've looked at it, so we can get together to make that more useful for us and more accurate. Okay. So that was a motion. So
All right, we got a second, is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, now on to, new business. Conditional use permit application for the Cape Charles Rosenwald School Restoration Initiative.
So, like I said, you've looked at it. It kind of went to the planning commission. They have also reviewed it and looked at it, and they have made a decision or recommendation for approval to come back here. And so, if you have questions, we do have, what is your name?
Beth.
Beth Walker is here, so that she can answer any more questions you may have.
Is this gonna be set up as it's gonna be set up as like a trail kind of scenario?
Yeah, we ended up having a nice lawn.
Hey Beth, can we ask you to come up? Thank you.
We ended up having a nice lawn in the back, and we think it'll be a good outdoor event space, so we were gonna border that space with the signs.
It's gonna be spread out all over, that's good. Anybody else have anything?
I'll make a motion
Thank you.
that we approve CUP 2026-02 as presented.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, so, we'll do this now.
This one doesn't have a resolution.
All right,
It's the next one.
all right, let's see. Yeah, okay. All right, Eastern Shore Rail Trail Ordinance.
So we were asked to be part of this, and so there was an ordinance created from the county, and since the rails trail goes all the way into Cape Charles, it seems to be very appropriate that we would take their ordinance and tweak it a little bit so that it would apply to us as well, and that's what you have here, is that we would, it's a shared agreement that we would also be adopting the same ordinance and rules for the trail.
I have a concern about some language on this. So if you look at our ordinance, the last whereas, we say, the town council wishes to allow the use of the trail by class 1 and class 2 power bicycles, motorized vehicles used for emergency personnel, and motorized vehicles used by an individual with mobility disabilities. But in chapter 28, traffic and vehicles, which is also attached, the language used instead is power-driven mobility devices by or for disabled individuals. And I think that that language needs to sink, because I read vehicles, motorized vehicles, and immediately would imagine someone thinking, hey, I can
Take my
have
van.
handicap tags, I can drive down this.
So you're looking to use the words in the ordinance?
No, I'm
Which one?
looking to use the words in chapter 28
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying,
it's in the ordinance.
section
Yes, I'm looking
28C.
to take those,
Right,
yes, and
okay.
C, to take that specific phrase there and use that in ordinance in place of the phrase motorized vehicles used by an individual with mobility disabilities. To just pick the verbiage from 28 and input that, and so to, replace that with
C5.
So it'd be
Yeah.
Copy
28,
and
it'd be
paste.
28-B dash, or 28-8 dash B dash 2 dash C, and that verbiage from C.
Yes.
No, no, it's 28-8-C.
Oh,
B2C?
No, it's not under B, it's under C.
okay, I got it.
Rules for
Right, that's what-
ESTR use, it's almost the last line, full line in that
The
subsection C.
C.
And it says how, it's
Sorry.
really, I think it's 6, but it says power
Yeah, 6.
driven mobility devices by or for disabled individuals.
Yeah.
C6, got it.
So I have a question in 2.
Well,
Two-
let me just, because 6 talks about ages 14 and younger shall wear helmets. Is there a 7 that's missing that deals with other power-driven mobility devices?
That language is taken
Yeah,
straight from
I
the
was
state.
saying, I'm
guide.
wondering if they had messed up at the county level.
From the state.
to
Okay,
add-
so you know what it is,
Go
I
ahead.
apologize, it is under 28-8 2B,
B.
2,
and,
C.
go ahead.
2B, 2C.
28-8 2B,
2.
2,
Empowered driven. yeah.
B. Power-driven mobility
There you
devices
go.
by or for disabled individuals.
There you go.
So I have a question about that, though.
Okay,
So let's say you have a golf cart driven by a person who is disabled. Does that qualify for I can take my golf cart on there? Because it is a mobility device for a handicapped person.
I don't think that's what,
I don't
I
think-
envision you're talking about motorized wheelchairs.
Scooters.
Yes.
Right. Or other power-driven mobility device for,
Yeah, but golf carts are not set up for that.
I
They're,
know of one that
I know
is.
one that is too.
ooh.
Grants.
Yeah,
Grants absolutely is set up for it.
yeah.
That's
That's my
not
question.
That's not his only mode of.
It's not, but it is one of his mobile devices.
But it is a golf cart.
It is a
Right.
golf cart,
So
100%.
golf
It's a
carts
golf
are
cart
off
that
the
pulls
table.
him around on his mobile device.
Well, he rides the
No, he rides
passenger,
it.
yes.
I know he rides
Yes,
it
you are
on his
correct.
mobile device.
He is not driving it.
He's
You are
not
correct.
driving.
I mean, I think
So
we're
it's a
splitting
mobile
hairs,
device
but
pulling him around
think that
in
we
his
need to.
mobility device.
I would
But the
say
bolos are
golf
going up at
carts
some
are
point, correct?
completely
Right.
off
Right.
the table.
They are not.
I have questions about that too. We've got to, but let's put a pin in that because I want to talk about that.
I was told specifically that they were putting them up.
I was told they were not.
What, I'm
The
sorry.
bolos,
Wow.
Pardon?
The bollards.
the bollards,
I
It's an-
still don't know what that means.
the ones, the big poles that go in the middle so that only certain,
No,
like
no.
you can't get any golf carts on there.
No,
Right.
they're not putting those up, they just drive around. What's the purpose of putting them up there?
Well, it
Let's
was,
not,
it was
let's not
considered
go
a
into that
liability.
discussion when we're.
Yeah,
if this
it's
one's
considered
In the
a-
middle of a motion.
Okay, so do I need to move that we make this change? Okay, I move that we,
Well, I
We
would
have to have a
suggest
motion.
adopt the
Adopt it.
resolution
Yes, first.
with the changing,
okay.
right?
And that's gonna go through the other discussions when you put it there, so you gonna do it, Paul?
Well, if you wanted to.
I don't know.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we adopt ordinance 2026-0819 with a change to the last whereas regarding motorized vehicles having to agree with the actual written statement in the ordinance. Okay, that's my motion.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion? All right, I move for the adoption of ordinance 2026-0819, adding new section 20 8-8 to the Cape Charles Town Code to designate the Eastern Shore Rail Trail as a public non-motorized transportation facility and recreational shared use path, and to prohibit the use of the Eastern Shore Rail Trail by motorized vehicles unless expressly permitted, to establish other rules governing use of the Eastern Shore Rail Trail and to provide penalties for violation and notice to forego reading of the ordinance. And can I get a roll call vote? Ashworth?
Yes.
Buda?
Yes.
Grossman?
Yes?
Holloway?
Yes.
Me, yes, Buckles. And Newman's not here, so it passes.
So before we move on to other subjects, since it's about the rail trail, I have a couple of questions. Is this an appropriate time?
It's not on the agenda.
I realize that, but our rail trail's opening tomorrow.
Yes, it is at 10 a.m.
Yes.
We have the groundbreaking, or ceremony.
The points of clarification. Insurance, can you talk to us about who is responsible? Is there a co-agreement with the county and coverage, and the rail trail have insurance?
This is,
I feel like we discussed this way back when, but I just don't remember the answer.
I'll look it up, but
Okay.
I'm certain it's under the Rail Trails organization is taking on that.
That's what I thought. I just think it
But I
would be
will
good
look it
to have that clarified for the minutes. And then, if this isn't the appropriate place to talk about signage and bollards, if that's what they're called. I'm very concerned, the gentleman that brought up the concern I've had as I've driven down in past, I'm sure everybody has. My concern more is that the people on the trail are not given a stop sign at the crossovers on either side. And to me, that would be of help. I mean, we've lived with behind my house on the alley there with the park, and I've talked about it since I've been on council. Kids come flying down that sidewalk going to the park, and they're like right there. Well, people come flying down our alley, and there's no stop sign. And I see it almost happen all the time, and that's very little use compared to what this is gonna be. So I have a
So
real
should
big
the
concern.
stop signs be on the trail?
Yes.
Okay.
On
Absolutely.
both directions, so
On
like if
both
you're
directions,
crossing
right.
over Stone Road, Casat, from both directions, there needs to be a stop.
Also
Stop sign
up,
painted on the.
Yes,
On the
as
trail.
well as at the storage area,
right, anywhere where it crosses over.
where are those crossovers? I think that's at least a help kind of in the right direction as far as the right of way, you know, and especially as people are learning the whole process.
I will talk to Ron Wolf. And as far as bollards, what I was told is that they considered it a liability for a bicyclist to hit them, and they ruled it out.
Yeah, we had talked day one, that was John
Yeah.
Uzzi's big issue with bollards and golf carts, and that was the explanation given, although they have bollards on the 5-mile stretch
Yes,
south of us.
That's correct.
they do.
Right.
Mhm.
And stop signs.
Mm-hmm.
They do have stop signs.
They sure
Yeah.
do.
And we have them in the park, obviously.
So is it-
If they have them on a section that doesn't have golf carts, it would stand to reason they would absolutely want to have them in an area of town that has golf carts.
Yeah. So is it your view that you would encourage me to go back and ask them to reconsider putting bollards in?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Even if they only put it at the trailhead, because that's the most likely place. Supposedly, you can't drive a golf cart to get on at Casat Parkway. So the golf cart would have to get on at the trailhead. Just put
Well,
one there.
In theory.
But those,
Yeah.
If you have a low speed.
low speed one, you can get on at the,
Yeah, but I don't
Cape
know
Charles
that, I
Road.
mean, they'll just drive down the road.
Yeah.
Why do the trail?
true.
Someone posted a video of a car driving on.
That was the inspector.
Yeah,
Okay.
figured, yes, but, I mean, a car can get on it.
It was. I know.
You know, Public Works is exempt from it too.
Yeah.
for a family.
Yep.
I know, but I've already asked Rick for them to encourage them not to set an example by riding on it.
Yeah.
They can ride right beside it. It'll be okay.
Yeah.
And I hate that-
We can talk about it, however, their Rails to Trails staff it's built into the
Oh,
ordinance
sure,
for them to bring
sure.
vehicles in, and it's only
Oh, of
appropriate for our
course.
staff if we have to do maintenance and stuff.
Right.
Any
I just
kind of
think if they're just doing regular
cutting
mowing,
grass, yeah,
they don't need to be riding on the rail trail. They can ride beside it. I mean,
Yeah.
If they're doing something that's of urgency for the trail, different. Is that a good example?
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
thank you for,
On to
Mhm.
C now, C is a professional review fee policy. Paul, you want to say?
No, just introduce it and.
sure. So I'll introduce it. Where did this idea come from? On our fee schedule, it mentions, that there could be additional fees if we need that. We just don't have a policy to tie to that. And so, so it could easily be challenged without any kind of, legal. We should have some kind of legal policy in play. And so I put some work together and crafted this in order to start the ball rolling of, it would be good for us, especially when there's challenging projects even at hand right now that it's over our abilities to do it. So we're having to send out for plan reviews. Some of these plan reviews should be paying for these plan reviews and not the taxpayer money paying for them. So that's where this came from. It's like, how do we create something that's a better, transparent system so that we understand when we do a department, what is understood that we're going to provide, and then there's additional things that's above what we can do. We should not be paying
Sure.
for that.
Well,
So-
I'd argue with that, and that's one of the arguments I'll present, okay?
Sure.
So I looked at the policy, and I think it's premature to try to approve anything tonight, and what I would suggest is we capture comments from each of us to Rick, and have this discussion at the work session. So things that I'm looking at on a broader, how does this interface with our procurement policy if we're going out? How does it interface with the budget process? We have legal reviews under zoning, okay? And, okay, we've set aside with the understanding certain cases we're gonna have to ask.
Right.
This is now asking for each department to have put in that kind of budget. And therefore, as we collect fees, we'll have to expense it against that particular department. The other issue is the fees that we are talking about here in the staff report has to be ultimately introduced into our fee schedule that gets reviewed here and approved, all right? Accountability on this whole program. By capturing the complex applications, that's one thing in my mind, I don't have the technical expertise for Project X or some element of Project X, and I got to go and ask whether it's legal or environmental or something strange. That's one thing. What I don't agree yet, without further discussion, is saying, well, if I don't have enough resources, I'm going to send it out. All of a sudden, I've got a department head sitting there saying, yeah, I'm kind of busy, let's send that one out. Let's send it, as opposed to taking chunks of work that we know are coming through the Bay Creek PUD, Acmax PUD, that's going to be eventually, that may overwhelm the staff at a given time, but that's a chunk of work that we should budget for in our budget and respond accordingly with fees from the applicant. So I have things here in this policy that, in concept, I like it, but there's too many questions for me to say, yeah, I can go with this tonight. And again, I'd offer a work session to really talk through the particulars here, and we have to come to grips on, do we extend it because of staff resources? That one I need to have us talk through much further.
I think it's definitely worthy of a work session
Right.
to discuss further.
So again, I'll leave this with, if you've got comments, particular comments, talk or provide them to Rick, so we can start getting a sense from each of you what is your issues with, and then he can collective and be able to come into a work session with a starting point there on, okay, I understand what your questions are, let me try to address, or amend this to strengthen it. So that's what I'd offer up for this particular item. move to a work session.
Table this evening.
Yeah, so we'll table it to a work session, and then we'll talk through it and then bring it back. Great.
All right, reappointment of Building Code Board of Appeals member.
Is that you, Libby?
Yes. We have the Building Code Board of Appeals. It has 5 positions on it. We actually have 3 people on the board, 2 vacant positions, and one of the individuals, Matthew Brown, his term is expiring on September the 10th, and he's expressed interest to continue on the board.
So he's not one of the vacancies?
No, he's one of the 3 members on it, and he's interested in continuing.
And is 3 a quorum right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Even if he
Thank
isn't, he
goodness.
has to stay.
Yeah, really. So I'll make a motion that we reappoint Matt Brown to the Building Code Board of Appeals.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, town manager comments.
All right, I just got a few things, just to keep you updated on. So this week we had a steering committee number 4, for the Rails to Trails Master Plan, and it was kind of a combination.
Not Rails to Trails.
Sorry, steering committee to the Rail Yard Harbor Master Plan. All this rail yard stuff. And it was kind of a combination meeting where we got updates on the final concept plans and also bringing in Jim Clark's conceptual ideas, what's been submitted, and they were fantastic.
So there has been some medals.
It has been submitted, and it's really neat, to be honest. It's like taking this kind of stuff that we've been talking about, of seeing, what this can become, and watching how this has been developed, what are appropriate things, and basically saying, hey, tell us what you think that would be great in a harbor commercial area, mixed-use area, and it was fantastic.
Can you get a copy of that?
I don't have the concepts because this was just from our steering committee meeting.
So that is online, that you
Yeah.
can go on the
On the concept.
Yeah, so, but anyways, I think it was neat. We had an opportunity to kind of refine, look at what they've submitted to us. It's a little more dense than what we were anticipating, but it's still conceptual. Where we're heading to, just to kind of keep you a understanding of the timeline, is the final, or the steering committee number 5 is supposed to be in September 17th. So that's another steering committee meeting. And then there'll be a community event. That'll be the 3rd community event, and that'll be October 10th. And then they'll start finalizing this to get ready of what's the plan going to be. And so I can send you this PowerPoint so that you all will have it, understanding what's going on. But it's just exciting. I know that I'm still working with some of the steering committee members who were there. In fact, some of the people here were actually there. And I don't know if they have any comments on it. Ian said many things. Ed said some things, but you have a couple comments that you'd like to make?
I think I can't think of the word, people who are submitting new stuff, it's just going to be stuff in every direction. You're not even going to imagine half of this stuff. It's not going to be what we have submitted with
Yeah.
houses, it's going to be some wild stuff.
Yeah, Ian?
I think the creativity coming from the design competition was great. I think what was outstanding was a number of them tied into economic development, and their designs were in support of things as a university center there for marine coastal research or other kind of concepts. One of them had them modifying the actual harbor such that you could have a better way in and out, a better way to go ahead and support some harbor businesses right there. So there were some real creative thoughts, and I think that it will be really a good idea for all of us to ponder those as we think, future comprehensive plans and other things along those lines in terms of,
And even an amphitheater at the hump was a crazy, neat, incredible idea. How do we preserve that, but it becomes a park-like area where you can have a natural gathering. So I think it was great.
Rick, I think also one of the things we discussed was the timing on everything. I have concerns, and I think some others did too, that the design competition and the final plan coming to us from the consultants are too close together. And it would be difficult to incorporate. I think we need to see more of those ideas that we just never thought of that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, the consultant stuff is traditional.
Yeah.
And there may be some things we want to look at otherwise. So you'll be blown away when you see the stuff
Yeah.
from the design competitions.
The steering committee, are you getting good representation of the members? No.
Not really. No.
Kind of closed mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's, I hear it, but it's not to the public yet, and that's where we're trying to engage, get the engagement into it. But that's just,
I have a question though, is the plan to do the next public engagement on the 10th because it's the fall festival?
Mhm.
Okay,
yeah,
so similar to like the Love Run?
yeah,
Yep.
Okay,
exactly. Capture the most amount of people at one
Great.
time. Just so, we have just, Jody put together a report to give you about personnel and training. Our beach attendant program is still going on, and we have 2 remaining beach attendants who will be working at the beach through Labor Day. Elix Stevens, the harbor maintenance assistant, has put in his resignation. His last day is August 28th, and we are planning to post for that position as soon as that is. The municipal project manager position, which is what we've renamed Bob's position. So we tailored it towards a municipal project instead of capital projects manager. That position has been filled.
It has.
I know, it's exciting. We are pleased to announce that Debbie Caton, who has been the Director of Administration for the town of Onancock since 2022, has accepted the offer. She has wore many hats for Onancock. Her experience working with capital projects and infrastructure has really stood out from all the candidates. She also has worked for the town in finance from 2020 through 2022, so she is one of our former employees. And prior to that, she was a project manager for a construction firm. So
When did she work with us before?
2020 through 22. Yep. And she will start mid-September. So we're pleased to
Bob,
announce that.
how about that?
Hey, Bob, what are you doing?
Bob has decided he is going to stay on and help do some training
Great.
and make sure there's a smooth transition. A smooth, what is it, a year transition? So,
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
It's going to be tough not to have Bob beside me, though.
Yeah.
Chief Pruitt participated in a roundtable event in Norfolk with the FBI Director, Cash Patel. He was the only chief from Northampton County that attended. So we represent pretty well.
Billy was there as well.
Tracy Alden attended a lecture hosted by the Virginia Association of Zoning Officials on updating comprehensive plan as part of the continuing education. And staff has completed the online university classes for de-escalation and cybersecurity phishing class. So that is our new hires, personnel matters, and training. So I wanted to give you just a quick update on short-term rentals. As of August, we have 321 short-term rental applications have been turned in. 20 with the status that is current, so 20 that we're working on. And we received 8 applications. No, eight applications have withdrawn. In the last day or so, we received 4 more additional applications. I did recently deny 1 application, and that's the first one I've denied. So I sent 5 letters, and so I didn't have any other choice. And
If they get, if they're denied, then what?
there's a 30-day appeal.
Appeal process,
They can
right?
appeal, that will go to the Board of Adjustments. And then they will see our mountain of data and paperwork to have to sift through that. But I didn't have any choice. That's what my responsibility was, is if there's no non-compliance after
Right.
so many times, then we had to do that. But our others are still working very smoothly.
Rick,
And I
before you
think,
move off, one of the subjects I had at the end was to set up another in a work session arrangement to hear the financial side of our short-term rental program. We kind of heard the GIS piece that you just talked to, but I'd like to hear concerns with the financial, what problems, barriers, what lessons learned, and where we're going.
And also, I believe you told me that even if they become compliant, it's still 1 year that they do not have those.
That's correct. When someone is revoked or denied, they're not allowed to do it this year because they're denied. They cannot, they don't have a license. And then also, the stipulation is next year too, they're ineligible.
What, is there any recourse if they are still doing it?
Well, there's fines we can issue.
Okay.
Yeah, there's plenty of recourse in our code.
And when you say year, is it fiscal year or calendar year?
A year from when they're,
Or,
I'd have to look at the code to confirm that.
Okay.
I think it's the short-term year. It's our year over year. So it'd be the rest of the year that's left here, and then when that one would have expired, an entire another year. Calendar.
so it would get them to January 28th?
So I'm sure you may have been aware, because some of you contact me or our staff to let us know, but we do have a different trash provider. It went from Davis to Dominion? Republic. And we've had some issues. So 4 weeks in a row, we've had some issues, and we've contacted them, I want to say daily. And we are in the process of writing up a letter of, you know, we're gonna create a system where we're gonna have a backup and use this person as a backup and back charge them, and probably look for an RFP and starting the process over again.
right,
So
Good.
it's
because
been,
that just transferred with the sale of Davis
Yeah,
that's
to
correct.
them.
yeah. But it has not been,
But it's
good.
essentially the Davis operation just moving under a new name?
Yeah, it's all.
Kind
And
of.
management.
And
Yeah, it's
management.
different management. They've also lost some staff,
Oh, okay.
and so,
has 40,000 employees,
yeah.
so this is not a minor player in solid waste.
But their operational is run different.
All right.
And so there's some things that some of the staff are not able to do that they were before, and so they've lost some staff. And so it's like a different company working with right now. So, even though it is some of the same players.
Yeah.
So I'm just letting you know.
But
that
right
we're
in the
gonna-
middle of the busiest time
Right.
of trash.
Yeah, and it's not fair to put it on our public works to have to go back
No.
into trash
No.
cans.
No.
They're already
Yeah.
up to their eyeballs.
And there are other companies now that have sent to me that
Yes.
want to put in the RFP, so it's not going to just be one and done like it was with Davis.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're looking to take the contract.
Yeah, that's good. I will get out the manager's report tomorrow, but I know you probably want some updates on some of the projects, so I figured I'd give you updates.
You saw it with 7 Strawberry.
Certainly.
That's right there.
7 Strawberry, they are gonna be starting the framing next week. And so that's the week of the 24th, which was Monday's the 24th. So that week is when they're gonna be framing up the interior. So I think it's the same situation that you heard from Matt. It's contractors, you know, they're overextended, and the Camino's contractors are also doing the library building, and so they're constrained as well, and so they're trying to do that. But rest assured, we have a backup plan, and our backup plan is working. And the backup plan was to have that trailer, and it is a nice new trailer, and it's doing what we need it to do. So we have a system that's working, I would say, flawlessly right now. And we are anticipating mid-November for it to be finished. And so that's, I can only give you what I've been told. Mason Avenue electrical upgrades. ANEC has completed the installation of permanent power for the new streetlights and power pedestals. This service also transfers the power supply from the beach restrooms and fishing pier from Mason Avenue Pump Station, now owned by BAW. Developing the scope of work for the next phase of the upgrade project from Pine to Peach. So that's the next. New municipal building. So you are aware we're going to be doing probably a groundbreaking the first week of September is what we're shooting for. We'll have their engineers. They'll put up a big sign. They're going to clear some things before we do that, and then we'll have golden shovels and some light refreshments. But it's a big deal. The last time this has happened was in 1930s, I think 1933. So we are all the pre-construction permitting requires is almost complete. VDOT has approved both the Fig and Randolph entrances, so
Oh,
we are
good.
waiting on that.
That's good.
So that was finally done. But it's moving on pace, so expect an email so that you'll know which date that we picked. It's really kind of help getting the engineers and the contractors all together, and then we'll let you know. Workforce housing, the draft development agreement continues to be reviewed, and so that is between attorneys and us talking through it. Harbor capital projects, Bob has prepared the invitation for bids for the final phase of the boardwalk reconstruction, and those bids are due September 21st. And sidewalk infill, working with VDOT on a few refinements of the scope of work for the next phase, and that's going to be the north side of Jefferson Avenue, several segments on the east side of Nectarine, and one segment on the east side of Harbor Avenue. And those bids will also be due by the 31st of August, so it's pretty soon. And then just a miscellaneous, provided bids or provided bid results to the clerk for 10 separate FOIA requests. So
We're up to 14 now.
14 FOIA requests.
Is this from different people or
Saying that.
same
Yeah.
person?
And that takes time, takes away our precious time. So also, we've received a request for a handicap parking sign to go in front of the Cape Charles Coffee House. So you might have been heard or been talking about it. We're reviewing that right now to see how we would just look at that. We'll probably talk to VDOT and so forth, but that one is a little different than our others because it's not the perfect location to put one.
Isn't
And
there
it-
one, 2 spots?
Yeah, there's already one that's nearby, and so we'll have to review that, but we're internally reviewing it first, and then we'll get VDOT's attention, but we are aware of it.
Over on 24th.
This is the sign that I would like to put up on stone where it says, no golf carts past this point, is something like this. I talked to VDOT, they wanted it yellow, so it's more of their type of signs, but it's not gonna go in there for the public to see. I feel like Dan away. But it's not gonna be in the VDOT right of way, because if not, they would not approve it, because it's not one of their signs that's standardized. It's most likely gonna be in the brewery, the grass lot that's behind the small little blue building.
Yep.
And it's gonna be 20 feet from the line of the road back. As long as I can get 20 feet, then that's the VDOT right of way, that 20 feet.
And what's the
Anything
size
within-
of it?
24 inches.
Can we make it larger?
No, that's the largest we can do, according to our code.
Oh,
We're-
20
we gotta
feet
follow
from the center line or 20?
24, I don't know, Bob, do you have 24 inch? I don't know.
square?
Well,
Is it
you have to
square?
estimate, bigger than that, but I don't know what the code says.
Okay.
But
You know what
when
the
you
code
said the
says.
20 feet, is that from the center line or is that from
4 square
the?
feet.
4 square feet.
4
2 by
square
2.
feet is the total sign.
That's 2 by 2.
It'll be a large, it'll be a big sign.
It'll
with
be yellow.
8 feet of,
Reflective
post.
yellow, reflective black.
yeah, so Andy's working on it. I got a quote, and
Good.
I've also got a verbal approval from the brewery, but I will have a written approval so that we can keep it in our file.
Yep.
So that is working.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome. It just took way more time with VDOT.
I know.
And also, the signs at the parking lot were denied because they already have signs that have the golf cart, it says no golf carts there, so that was denied
Where, at the parking lot?
at the Rayfield parking lot. So they already have signage
Oh.
there.
No motorized vehicle.
No, yeah, it
That's
says
all
no
it says.
motorized vehicles. There is another little real estate agent sign that's over there that says no golf carts past this point, but
Smitty put that there.
yes, somebody put that there,
Yeah.
but VDOT has not approved that.
Right.
We need to start begging for forgiveness.
Yeah, and then the other one, which you
Yeah,
guys had
just like
asked
the
me about.
Nantucket did with their Main Street sign.
Yeah.
They put it right in, it's right in the VDOT right of way, and it's still there.
Yeah. And then the other one that you guys had asked me about was putting a sign at Bay Creek entrance on the south end, but on the right side. I brought it up to Bay Creek and they said, let us discuss it because it's their property. And they kind of said, well, I'll mention it to our guys. They don't like a lot of signs and cluttering, but they are planning to put a sign up that says golf cart path this way, so that they would go across the street. So they are planning to do that, but I've asked them, council has requested that we put something to it. It puts a sign there, and they said that they will discuss it. So we'll just follow the,
Even if it's temporary.
yeah, that's true. And then I have written some zoning determination letters that have taken some time. So, and this is a quick update. Dreams by the Water, you may have heard, that one has been a challenge because it was a non-conforming in every way possible. And so we inherited it, and it's gone through many cycles of reviews and VDOT and everything. But the last part was the sidewalk. And they were trying to, work with VDOT, but VDOT wants to work with us, and then we have to follow our code.
Right.
So in order for VDOT to approve it, we have to sign off on it, which means it's got to fit our town code. So the questions are, is it required to have a sidewalk? And the answer is yes. Our code requires all lots to have a sidewalk. Doesn't matter if it's a cul-de-sac, And then the question is, what about the cul-de-sac beside it? Well, that falls under the PUD for Bay Creek. So it's not technically, it's an overlay that they have allowed that to happen without sidewalks. So that answers that question. Well, how big do the sidewalks have to be? 5 feet width. So it has to be a sidewalk and it has to be 5 feet width.
And they have tight
Yeah.
space there.
So if you walk through that area or seen it, there's a lot of utility lines that are in that area.
Yeah.
So what I came up with a plan, reviewed it with VDOT, they liked it, then I went back to the group and talked to them. So it is a challenge. So 6 of those property owners can have a sidewalk abut the curb and have 5 feet from the curb. That will be approved. When it goes to the cul-de-sac, all of the utilities are gonna have to be moved out.
Yeah,
So
because
that's,
they're tight back there.
it's very tight. Some of them are 2 feet from the curb.
Yeah.
So it's just, why is that? Is because when they originally planned it, it worked. But then when they wanted the road to be approved by VDOT, VDOT said, no, this road that you have doesn't
It
fit
doesn't
our
fit.
standard. So they had to widen it, and then it increased for a fire truck to go around. So it ate into all that land
Right,
that
'cause
would have
they
been their
butt right up
yard.
to the back of,
So it
like that
created
wall.
messes after. So this is our agreement, because you got 3 homes that are already built, and they're waiting on their COs, and the CO is tied directly with sidewalk. So we're in a stalemate. So we created a way forward, which is put a sidewalk in and move your utilities. And for those homeowners that want to get their CO, they can do one of 2 things. Put the sidewalk in, or they can put a bond up that's for the amount of the sidewalk. We'll sign their CO, and then we have the money if they don't do it. And so then that's get it done. If they don't get it done, we have the bond to be able to do it ourselves. And so that works for all parties. And then we will have the plat redone with a note saying that VDOT will not be held responsible for any maintenance, but they must comply to the town code, which means they're responsible for the maintenance since it's a non-conforming. So we've got a path forward,
good for you.
and that has
That took
taken
a
up
lot.
a lot of time.
Yeah.
So anyways, just a little more detail than I wanted to give, but some of you are aware and have been more involved or heard our issues. So that's all I have.
Well, just following up with the time involved here, where do you stand with regards to the planning
Yes.
position?
All right, good. I'm glad you brought that up. So we did have a candidate. That candidate has withdrawn. It was a solid candidate, and because that candidate is no longer available, we met with the Berkeley group today and have decided to extend this to 1 more month, and then we'll reevaluate the situation from there. But it's been a challenge to find qualified candidates. That's where we're
Now,
at.
would Berkeley be extend for their search?
For their services for searching for
For
candidates.
searching? How about as far as services to help
So yeah,
address some of
they
the
have been working with,
workload?
they have been working with us for planning services. We have submitted multiple projects to them already.
Okay.
Yeah, so they are working with us.
A la carte.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing. We're taking our big projects to them. The other smaller projects we're doing in-house, and we are able to do that. So our staff, it is taking time, but that's what their job is to do, and they're doing fine. And I signed off on 12 to 14 plans yesterday to move those forward. So that's a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
they're working hard in there.
I have a question. Do you have an update on the lights on the trees that are not
Yes.
working?
If you have that, right here. So those Main Street has talked to their consultant that's coming in, and they will be coming the first week of October to make sure all those lights work. Now, some of those have been disconnected from our public works because they didn't want to be tripping hazards. And they will, seal with tape and everything as it gets closer. But they're gonna come in and check all the lights to make sure they work, and then we'll just put our cords back up and tape them back down.
And we didn't want to ask them to accelerate that because the business community had actually asked that those lights be on all year. And it's going to start getting dark earlier if we wait another 6 weeks.
I'll ask,
I mean, that was what the business community had said they wanted, was
Yeah.
that the lights be on all year, and they made a pretty solid pitch for that. So I'd like to, at least if they're gonna be on, it looks bad to have 20 out. It would be better to just not have them be on at all than to have 20 of them be out.
well, some of them are out because they're not plugged in. So our staff, our public works have unplugged them because they were just tripping hazards.
So are we ready to plug them back in? And, I mean, now that it's gonna start getting dark earlier in particular, plug them back in and go ahead and do that tape? Or are we, what are we?
So I'll talk to Public Works about it. How soon can they put it on their schedule?
That'd be great.
Yep.
Another item we had talked about at previous meetings was some sort of a, back to the bollard idea, leading into Strawberry Plaza from Mason Avenue. Just something in the middle of that wider, handicapped accessible,
Ramp.
thank you.
I don't think it can be in
Getting
the
the-
middle, it would have to just be to the side, but not,
Because the handicap, then it
It
reduces
impedes
the
the-
handicap accessibility, wouldn't it?
Well, we do the same thing on the other side. There's one already on the side of the parking lot. So we just need to do something similar. That's pretty wide. I mean, you could get through, we can at least look at how we would do that.
Sure.
So we can avoid having golf carts and cars.
Cars.
and,
On, are
going
you
through
talk-
there.
You're talking about putting up something that's on the street side, or on the back side, the parking lot side?
street side.
Street side, okay. 'cause it's
From
so
Mason
wide.
to Strawberry
People,
Plaza.
again, are taking their cars.
They certainly are.
Can't make this
Can't
stuff
make
up.
it up. Nope.
As
Strawberry
Jimmy Buffett would
Plaza,
say,
though.
"We've
Yeah.
done it
Yes.
soon."
And so, what, can you give me, I was writing another note when you were saying, so can you give me the specific, what you want a sign? Did you want a bollard?
So it's
Something
8
that
feet
would-
right
Something that
now.
would-
Something that'll prevent a car from driving
Okay.
through
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
Just to make it wide enough.
Spikes,
the widest
whatever
wheelchair.
works. you know.
But that
cars,
doesn't
no
impede a
golf carts.
wheelchair or a
Right.
scooter.
Concertina wire,
Okay, got it.
Yeah, because that one's 8 feet wide.
Yeah,
Yeah.
little automatic flamethrower.
okay.
All right.
Those things that comes out of the ground.
Anybody else got anything?
Yeah, I had, real quick, on Town Edge, we met with Bay Creek individuals, Tara's group last night, had about 25, and we walked through for an hour and a half, it was a good hour and a half, walked through Town Edge and what's being proposed, and its impact also on the aquifers. And this morning at Tara's group, she had about a half a dozen, we went through the same exercise, and I'll do it at Emmanuel Church on Saturday at 10 o'clock. Offer that for our congregation, but open it up to the community through the civic group. But if anybody else wants to attend, feel free at Emmanuel on 601 Tazewell at 10 o'clock.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right, get some announcements. August 22nd, 2026, Continental Park is going to be the United States Air Force Full Spectrum. August 29th, 2026, Continental Park will be Chesley Kellogg
Celeste.
of Celeste, sorry. September 2nd, 2026, Town Council Work Session, tentative.
Are we, do we know if we need that meeting?
I'm sure we are. I've got several things, and we also have the beachfront master plan projects to work on, which
Okay.
I've not heard back from him. I've sent him multiple emails.
All right.
So it's a go.
Because I need, yeah, because that was one of the dates for
Yeah.
the Main Street.
Yeah, change that
That's
to-
correct.
Oh, I've got one other thing. I'm sorry.
Okay, go back.
No takebacks.
No takebacks. I'm trying to coordinate a work, an executive session to talk about the Canoni property. And so, I'm trying to coordinate for next week. So
Ah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week. In 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock.
We couldn't do it the same day as the one on the second, we could do 5
We need
o'clock
to do
and
it
then.
earlier.
Oh.
So I'm just giving you a heads up. I'm trying to get that coordinated. I'm trying to work with some other person.
Clock's ticking.
Thursday's the only day I can do it.
Did you say Thursday's your only good day?
What's the date of Thursday?
So this kind of hinges on the other person of getting that person.
All right, so you gotta line that
Yeah.
person up first.
Yeah.
Right, so, all right, September,
28th? Oh, go ahead,
Yeah.
sorry.
we're gonna just finish the announcement.
Go right ahead.
All right, September 5th, 2026, we got Love Fest in concert in Central Park at English Channel. Always a good show. All right, September 7th, 2026, town office is closed for Labor Day. Let's say holiday, it's just Labor Day. All right, September 12th, Council in the Park's gonna be Captain Mike and the Shipwrecked.
Jimmy Buffett tribute band.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, September 16th, 2026, our regular town council meeting.
Looking forward to it.
You have something?
Yeah.
No.
All right, can I get a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
I
Aye.